Welcome to another edition of Phil's Corner. Today we have with us Brad Isaacs, the Chief Revenue Officer for Venture Employer Services. We're here in Atlanta. Thank you, Brad, for joining us today.
Thank you, Phil.
We're here to talk about our division called Solvo Global, which is an alternative workforce solution, a great business that we've started and launched this year. And we're going to talk a little bit about the success and the growth of the business. So, Brad, let's start with what was the evolution of Solvo Global, if you don't mind giving the audience a little flair on how Solvo Global came about.
Sure, thanks, Phil. Solvo Global was started. We were introduced by one of our division presidents, Doug Lowry, to a group that is one of their client companies, which is one of the largest steel manufacturers in the U.S. They were opening up a location in a remote town in Texas and were looking for top talent. At the same time, they're also opening up a location in Medellin, Colombia, and fell in love with the people, the culture, and the education of the individuals, and decided to try 2 remote employees out of their Medellin location to help their Texas location. Soon found out that that location started to run more profitably and better than some of their US-based locations, and soon they started to move more of their workforce to Medellin, Colombia. They moved everything from their finance, accounting, marketing, business analytics, M&A to that location, to where now they're saving over $6.5 to $7 million a year on payroll. We decided as we met this group, phenomenal group of people, and this could really help out our client companies as well. So we did a joint venture of Solvo Global, and now we're going ahead and opening that up to our clients to help them expand their businesses as well.
That's great. So, Brad, talk to me about the growth of the business and what Solvo's been able to do for our client base.
Sure.
From a BPO outsourcing, HR perspective, and just helping the small business community.
Sure. Well, I think it's good to know about the outsourcing community as a whole. There's many different terms that are there. You got outsourcing, traditional outsourcing, you have BPO, business process outsourcing, nearshore, onshore, and then what we've coined is really taking a hybrid of the best of each of those business models and created what we call an alternative workforce solution, where you have the best of the ability of, it's only a 3-hour flight from Miami, the same time zone, Eastern or Central time zone, and then all the people that work for us are all college graduated, bilingual individuals. And from a cost standpoint, there's a great cost savings, which will help our clients grow as well.
That's fantastic. So, I've been down in Medellin, for those who are interested, and interviewed some of these folks. The one thing I find most intriguing about the folks in Medellin is the university system. Is that down there, the college students go to school for 3 years. They are asked to go to work in their area of major for a year, and then come back and take their final year before they graduate and then go to work. So I find that very interesting and intriguing. Would you agree?
We should have that here in the US, because you automatically come out with 1 year of on-the-job training. The work ethic, the personal brand of the representatives, and the education level is unbelievable. Wish we can bottle that up and bring that here as well.
Yeah, the one thing interesting for me that I found is that from a nearshore and an alternative workforce solution versus going what we're traditionally hear about offshore.
Sure.
So in India, Philippines, et cetera, from a language barrier and just a passion, as you said, I've seen a complete difference in terms of just the people end of the business, right?
There's a big change because our team feels like they're going to work for our clients versus going to work for a BPO in some of these areas, so you don't have the high turnover. They're looking for a career, and we've seen that in ourselves. And for myself, I have an executive assistant that is at Solvo, and it's been a game changer from a scalability standpoint. And a lot of people don't know how to use an executive assistant, so we've really come up with a training program where it's almost like a plug and play that we teach that person for you to work with our executives or our client companies to help them become more scalable.
Yep. So my next question for Brad is going to be what types of people are down there, but I thought it might be worth mentioning we ourselves at Venture have a couple of hundred people down there in Medellin, and they help us with a lot of back office stuff, whether it's risk submissions, healthcare submissions, executive assistants, procurement, billing, inside sales. We've really done a great job of being able to extend our ability to grow and really get lean on the P&L. Because we've got great talent down there and we have leaders. And can you talk about what happens in Medellin from a KPI, dashboards? How do people get managed?
I think it's really interesting because the big difference is our recruiting process, where a lot of people think of traditional outsourcing, where I'm going to be outsourcing a process, so my billing process or my customer service process. What we do differently is that we're providing the talent to your existing workforce using your existing systems, your phone system, your computer system, your CRMs. So when we go through and find a position that you need, just if you're going to put it on Indeed or Career Builder, you provide our recruiting team with those job descriptions, those requirements that you need, whether it's a finance, a VP of finance, whether it's an executive assistant. Then our team will talk to you, figure out your culture, skill set, and then we have a team of recruiters that will go out and actually find those individuals exactly matching what you're looking for, whether they are going to be client-facing, their English level, their Microsoft skills levels. And then our team of recruiters will go out and find those people in Medellin, and they go through a strenuous recruiting process, including being in front of a psychologist. Then they go through English-based testing, they go through Microsoft Office, and at that point, we bring them in for a video, and then we send you the video candidates. If you like that person, then you can set up a Zoom meeting or a GoToMeeting so you can be involved in that interview process, or you can provide it over to us and we can hire those people. Once you bring them on board, we go through a really great training process, onboarding, your computer systems, technology, going through that process so it mirrors exactly what you're doing here in the US.
That's fantastic. So, I was with a client the other day on the phone, Brad, and you mentioned recruiting. These folks were looking for 4 or 5 recruiters nationally, and what really became apparent to me very quickly in the conversation was the ability to not worry about churn, turnover, people that don't work out. Companies are in high-scale growth mode. Sure. They don't have time to get stuck in the weeds with turnover. So one of the interesting comments I heard as we get into the financial aspects of this was the fact that turnover is not going to affect their state unemployment rates. It's not going to affect productivity in the office, and we have the ability to replace where we need to if that happens, right? But can we talk about that and then get into the financial impact?
Sure, absolutely. What we find is with COVID, the entire world has been forced to be remote. So the mentality of I need to have people in my office overnight has changed. And then companies are starting to realize that we maybe don't need the same amount of overhead that we needed before, or I can maybe downside, or don't need to open up that second office. So this really gives you the ability of building an office instead of building it in the same state. If we build that in Medellin for you, because it's your own dedicated office, your logo's on the wall, we can match the same colors, you're saving roughly between $30,000 to $40,000 per position, potentially even higher on just the payroll and partial benefits, let alone turnover, training. So from a scalability standpoint, if you had 10 positions, you could be saving potentially $300,000 to $400,000 straight to your bottom line.
Wow, that's fantastic. So Brad, do you have a success story in mind, an actual case study that you can speak to?
Sure.
that might have been recent and how we had a big impact on one of our SMBs?
Absolutely, and I think one of the beauties of Solvo is that it's an unknown resource. And after I get talking to an owner, they say, wow, how come everybody's not doing this? And I think because when people hear of the stigma of outsourcing, it's potentially a negative experience that they're hearing and thinking about what they do when they call up Dell computers. And that is not what we have here with Solvo. Again, providing you with talent within your existing workforce. A recent success story, Phil, would be a company called TapText. And TapText is a great technology that instantaneously allows a company for someone to visit their website or a Google ad and be able to click a button that says tap to text. It automatically opens up on somebody's phone the text messaging, and they're instantly communicating with a prospect. So it's a really cool technology. The owner of this company went ahead and came to Solvo and needed to start with 10 business development representatives and appointment setters to go ahead and get their business kicked off. So they went ahead and told us exactly what they're looking for, the type of person that they're looking for, the English as well as bilingual, which is a huge plus. And our team of recruiters went out and found the right people. We brought them in, and then their team started training and going through the process. We have been crushing it for this group every single week. And as they continue to grow, they're starting to bring on the back office people, and their billing, their receivables, collections, and we continue to see them growing. Phil, we're really excited about our national partnership with Wework.
Yeah, that's a good one. Wework, as a national partner for us across the country, is highly excited about the opportunity to partner with Solvo. That's only one of the product set that we'll be injecting into our relationship, and there's certainly a lot of excitement around that in terms of how they can support their SMBs inside their buildings.
Absolutely. Think about the clientele that is working with Wework and wanting to grow their business. They're able to use the Wework offices, use the conference centers, and then be able to also help build a team at Solvo that is dedicated to them in Colombia, and they're able to run their business and expand their business here in the U.S.
Absolutely. So I happen to think that, our clients have been screaming to us, finding opportunities to make investments in areas where it's conducive to their P&L, but still allows them to expand their workforce and grow. And we've done it internally. Our clients are doing it internally. So I urge you all, if you're in need of additional support, you want to help scale your business and grow your business, there's no harm in trying. We also have, I think, Brad, I want to confirm 100% referral rate on every client that's participated in Solvo. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and I think the beauty is once you start with 1 or 2 employees, because we really don't have a minimum and we don't have the long-term contracts because we want you to be happy. They've gone ahead and they've increased their staff down there. And again, what's interesting from a training standpoint is because we're only a 3-hour flight from Miami, you're not going to hop in, if you were dealing in the Philippines or in India, you're not going to hop on an airplane and go potentially visit your team because it's a day or 2-day trip out there. We can find individuals that are your leaders that have visas to come here in the US, and your team or your leader can actually come and train at your location, understand your culture and bring that back to your team, or you can bring your trainer down to Medellin because it's an easy flight. You can go there and we'll host you down there to make sure that you get your team properly trained and up and running.
So, we're sitting here talking about SMBs and small business, but it's also true that if you're a large business scaling and you're a call center environment, or you're simply out of space in your existing building, which we have people that we've spoken to that really have a hard time growing because they just don't have space and scalability. We could take 50 to 100 employees if you're really looking to move a call center or add a call center to Medellin. Is that true, Brad?
Absolutely. We can start, if a company is looking for just 5 more representatives, we can go ahead and actually provide those 5 representatives, or if they're looking to move 50 people, we have the ability to scale at Solvo pretty quickly and be able to provide a floor or an area dedicated to them as well. Phil, if we think about our partnership with Wework as well, this is a great opportunity to be able to bring in a company that is looking to have, an office at Wework that they can expand without having to have the overhead of an actual location here in the US as they continue to expand as well. So I think that that's a great partnership and a great way to help to expand your workforce without having to expand your corporate office.
Absolutely. And Brad, just before we sign off, last question, because I'm sure the audience is kind of curious. Can you talk about what the top 3 maybe
Absolutely.
Positions or opportunities are that we have, folks?
Yeah, I think the first part of someone saying this sounds interesting, I will ask any executive or any business owner out there or your sales leader, how can I help you become more scalable? And I think that's the first thing. We have a phenomenal program for executive assistants. And most people say, man, I've been thinking about having an executive assistant. I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to use them. Well, we've gone ahead and created a program and basically a platform for executive assistants that we will go ahead and train. We can show you exactly how to get into a rhythm to use the executive assistant. And the executive assistant role is roughly only about $2,000 to $2,200 a month all in for a college graduated, bilingual, great English person, individual that is going to be able to help you become more scalable. We're also very good in like you said, some of the back office, but collections, billing, collections, finance, accounting, and bookkeeping. So those are definitely some areas that if you're thinking about expanding those areas, let us go ahead and show you some of the top talent that we have because you'll be absolutely amazed.
Well, great. So folks, from $1,600 a month to some version of $2,500 a month, you too can have an extension of your business and support for your workplace. Thank you for tuning in today. We look forward to the next edition of Phil's Corner. Thank you, Brad, for your time. You guys have a great day. Be great.